Okay, classes, welcome to English 1301. My name is Mr. Welsh or Lawrence Welsh, and I'm going to help you today as we continue our journey through English 1301 and really get moving here because of some delays on protocols at the college. Uh, and let's go through it right now. So, class, one of the things is I've sent you a series of announcements. I've also sent you the course policies and calendar. I also sent you the official syllabus for the college and a good few announcements on the way the semester is going to work this semester. One that I just gave you the other day was after following all of EPCC's protocols, I've been cleared to return to work on Thursday. Today it is Thursday. That said, I will post a lecture by Friday under Blackboard Lectures, and that's what this is. This lecture will talk about all of my requirements this semester, and it will enable us to get caught up. We're not that far off, but I'll help us out so we can get caught up from the class or so that was missed because of not being able to come to school. Whenever I post a lecture this semester, which is right now, any of the lectures that I post, it is advised that you watch it carefully and slowly and that you take detailed notes. Here's hoping that you stay safe and well. So, yeah, class, in order to stay on track this semester and have a good semester, these lectures that I do over Blackboard are extremely important. So, when I'm talking once again and lecturing and talking about homework and where we are within the class, have a pen out once again, class, and paper if this is the way you do things. And then once again, take notes, right? That's one of the things that college is all about, is note taking. And how do we take notes, whether you do it on loose leaf pieces of paper, whether you do it in a journal for the class, always, class, be taking notes. Once again, get it down. And it always amazes me, even before the pandemic, sometimes students would just sit in class and never take any notes. And I always found out, class, that a student that doesn't take notes and pay attention that way never had one of those students pass my class. So I want you to pass the class, but in order to do it, you've got to stay on top of everything very intensely. And one of the ways we stay on top of things, class, is once again, notes. Once again, writing down everything. All right. So let's do this. Let's talk about where we are, what's going on. Class, one of the things that I gave you is I sent you the course policies, the official course policies from the department, and that talks about all that we're going to do this semester. And I'm hopeful that you read that and that you digested that. And now I'm going to talk about this right quick. And this I sent to you. This is the syllabus, my instructor's course requirements for spring 2022, right? And so there's several classes I'm going to talk about, but they're both the same, once again, syllabi, okay? One class is a little different because it's all online, but I'll help you with that. And so, class, what I would do is, if you've got a printer, if you ever need to print at the college, you can print everything out for free. Print out a hard copy of this so you have this. This is a detailed 5-page document that you'll want to consult every day during the semester. And then I'll adjust it, class, during the semester too, possibly for dates and things. All right, so let's all get this out right now And let's look this over. El Paso Community College, syllabus, instructor's course requirements. It is the spring of 2022. And then let's talk about the section numbers. So these section numbers class is going to be specific to your class. I'm teaching a section number called 21416. And this is my hybrid classes. I have 3 hybrid classes, and I'm going to talk about those in one online class. The hybrid classes is where the groups just meet once a week with me, and I answer any questions in person. Online is all online. Hybrids Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Once a week I meet with students. But I've sent that memo out so you know about that. Tomorrow I'll be back in class. I'll meet with those students. Section number 21416, 21419, 21437. Those are for my 3 hybrid classes. I have 1 online section of English 1301, 20755. 20755, okay? And so that class is completely online. Let's talk about this class. Class, once again, those are the section numbers here. It says here, Professor Lawrence Welsh. Excuse me, class. I'm a tenured, full-time, long-time English professor at El Paso Community College. I've been doing this a very long time. So that's just who I am right there. It says your professor is Lawrence Welsh. That's me, Lawrence Patrick Welsh. I'm your professor. I have an office in the A building, A1208 at Via Verde campus. Office hours Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 to 11:50 a.m. and 1 to 1:50 p.m. Okay, so those are my office hours. Class, that's the way to reach me. Then also, class, if you ever need to reach me, what I'd like for you to do is, we're getting this habit is, as the semester moves on, you can contact me, class, through Blackboard messages. That's the way to do it, okay? We get away from using my email to college. I do answer those, but Blackboard messages, class, that's the way to contact me. Now, when you do contact me, once again, a couple of things that are happening. I want to let you know that only contact me if you need me, all right? Only contact me, and I want to hear from you, though, after you have once again digested everything. If I send announcements to you, print those out, go over them. My class is very prescriptive. I take care of everything in those announcements. Sometimes students will ask me all these questions, and then I'll say, did you listen to my lecture? Did you take notes? Did you print out my announcements? Did you look at my messages? Did you highlight it? Did you annotate it? Because I've already covered everything that you're asking me in my announcements, in my memos, and in my lectures. All right? So make sure you do that. And then if you do that and you do have a question, I generally got a lot of students this semester, but I always try and get back to a student within 48 hours, okay? Hit me up over Blackboard messages, and I'll get back to you within 48 hours. Sometimes within 24 hours. But don't worry, if you wrote to me, unless it slips somewhere through the cracks, I get back to every student, all right? So, and then the other thing, when you write to me, class, this is an English class. This is a freshman level, college level, university level English writing class, expository English composition. Remember that when you write to me, you're not sending a text to your friends, okay? This is an English class. I want you to write in complete sentences as best as you can. I'm not here to beat anyone up. I'm here to help, right? Before you send your email to me, look it over. Is the grammar right? Is the punctuation right? Have I capitalized proper nouns? Am I using the comma right? Is this a complete sentence? Can I be proud of this email, right? So take your time, right? Because I was getting last semester, the semester before, students hit me up with these illiterate emails, and I'm like, come on now, I'll write them back. I'm an English professor, okay? Give me literate emails as best as you can. None of us are perfect, but you're not sending a text over a phone to your friends. You're communicating with Mr. Welsh, your English professor. Do the best that you can, all right? Think about it. Always scrutinize everything. That's what I'm going to help you with this semester, all right? I'm here to help you with your writing, how to pay attention to your writing, close attention to your writing, how to try and eliminate as many mistakes as possible, how to clean it up. So once again, you can do college level, university level writing. Very good, class. I've got these textbooks at the in my office at school. I had them there last week, so I don't have them with me, but I'll be with them tomorrow. Your text, Richard Bullock and Maureen Daly Goggin, The Norton Field Guide to Writing with Readings, 5th edition, New York, Norton Publishers, 2018. That's our main textbook. Okay. We're going to have readings from that textbook in my syllabus and calendar. You're only responsible for the readings I have on the calendar. So, with that said, if you want to get those readings from the library or photocopy, just as long as you've done them, I'm fine. I'm not getting a kickback from the publishers, all right? So there's great readings in there. We're going to use the text. You're responsible for the readings that are on the course policies and calendar, all right? And then, as we're going to show you today, I'm going to also have a lot of handouts for you this semester that come from my own personal collection that will illuminate the material that we're doing in class, right? And so already you've received 2 this semester, okay? And if you read those 2s and thought about those 2, you'll know what our first assignment's going to be. Or you'll know a bit. I'm here to help. Diana Hacker, Writer's Reference, MLA Update with Writings About Literature, Bedford, St. Martin's Press, 2018. For my class, if you have an earlier edition, that's all right. If you take English 1302 after this class, you will need the most current issue. For my class, we use it as a reference. It's the Bible of the business. The business is writing. You have questions about comma usage, 20 pages in there. You have questions about fragments in there, 15 pages in there. You have questions about run-on sentences, 10 pages in there. You have questions about how to properly use punctuation. Once again, with quotation marks, it's all in there, right? All these things that we need to know. I'm not here to kill you, class, with rules and regulations on punctuation. I'm here to help you get enough of it and review enough of it so you can succeed as a writer, all right? That's the way I was taught in college, and that's the way I'm going to help you. And then class, an old school dictionary, right? American Heritage Dictionary. It'd be nice to have a dictionary around. I've got maybe, 10 in this house, different ones over the years. And I'm like you too. I look a lot of words up on my iPhone X95, 78, whatever the hell this thing is. I will go to dictionaries on my phone too and look words up, and on the computer. But it's nice to have a hardcore old school dictionary too. I have a bunch of them, and that way, class, once again, you engage. You continue to engage language. I even have, class, 2 pretty good Spanish-English dictionaries, and I go to them. Class, I don't want to beat myself up. My Spanish is okay. It should be a lot better because I've been in El Paso a long time, 27 years. But the thing that I don't want to beat myself up, why it should even be better than that, is I'm from Los Angeles. And my dad used to tell me, if you don't get this, you're going to regret it your whole life, that you don't get your Spanish together in LA. You know, LA is a Spanish speaking town. And then my father was right. In high school, I blew it off. I don't need it, Dad. And then what happens? I moved to El Paso, right? So it's all right. My Spanish all right. Este necesitar mucho trabajar en español. Este profesor de inglés, no professor de español. But once again, I engage it. I engage the Spanish language. I love the Spanish language. And I can speak it a bit, but not as good as a lot of my students. But I'm still working on it. So I even have a couple Spanish-English dictionaries. Engage the language, class. Let it wash it wherever you are. That's where you are. And that's a good thing, class. Wherever you are within the language. The Spanish language, the English language. Wherever you are, that's where you are. And then we go out from here. I'm no different than you. I got my place within the English language. And my place within the Spanish language. I'm kind of on a low rung. Este mucho trabajar en español por el profesor. I need work. But I'm continuing to work, right? Just like my students are working in English, right? And class, I don't want to spend a lot of time going into it, but, you know, I'm 100% Irish American. My mom was right from Ireland. I'm a first generation American. My native tongue for 2,000 years was the Irish language or Gaelic. But once again, we were colonized by the English, okay? And made to speak the English language, the Irish were. My mother's grandmother had to keep it on the down low. She was fluent in Irish and Gaelic, but she had to keep it on the down low because the English would kill you for speaking the Irish language. Now, all the students in Ireland learn the Irish language. And no one else in the world speaks it, but they do it as a thing of pride and a thing of history, right? So, the colonizers, and I don't know the Irish language. I love it, class, but I don't know it. I was colonized too. Let's move on. So it says here, supplemental handouts for your professor. You're going to get those all semester long. You've already received those. And then it says a pocket folder in which to submit your work is required. Frequent photocopies of your essays. Class, that is when the class would meet face to face in the old days. Nowadays, you're going to turn everything into me virtually. Okay? But we'll talk about that. When the essays due, I'll talk about how you turn it in. I'll talk about the format and how you do it properly. All right? So you'll turn in a virtual portfolio. Class. This course must be passed with the grade of C or better before it can be used as prerequisite for a higher English level course. So you need to get a C here to move on to English 1302 or the literature courses above that. Attendance. Class, this is a discussion workshop class, not a lecture class. I'm talking here today. And I will talk throughout the semester because of teaching a lot of this online and it being hybrid too. So it just tells us to be to class as best as you can. I don't want to drop you. Class, it talks about here about my absence policy. And it says if you do not officially drop the class yourself before the deadline for dropping with a W, then you will earn the grade of an F. So, one of the things, class, let's talk about that, the W. Say you have a challenging semester, okay? Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. In college, though, you have to take care of yourself. By saying don't beat yourself up, I've been doing this for a long time. I was a college student, too. You know, it's tough times. We're still in the pandemic. It's 2 years going. So say, you know, you're going through the semester and you say, oh, man, you know, I haven't really done a lot of work in English 1301 class. Drop the class. Take a W, right? Take a W and it won't affect your GPA. Because at the end of the semester, and this is where it's different than high school, the end of the semester, if your name comes up and you haven't dropped, I'll give you an F. The college makes me. I don't want to. but I have to do that. So take care of yourself, because a W doesn't affect your GPA. Junior year in high school, my father died. Not high school, junior year at the university, my father died. I dropped my classes. He died suddenly of a heart attack. God rest his soul. That was a long time ago. I got him buried. I took care of the family. And the next semester, I was a junior at the University, California State University at Long Beach. I got back in the game because I knew. I said, what would my father want, who never went to college? My father was a bus driver in Los Angeles. Smart man, well-read man. Never went to college, he told me, because he was too fond of partying. All right? Don't judge him from that. God, he's been dead a long time. I think about him all the time, every day almost. He's a good man. We had some tough years. What would my father want? Next semester, boom, I was back at the university. And those W's didn't affect my GPA, the grade point average, all right? So, class, take care of yourself. And then, class, remember that this isn't high school. We have protocols I'm going to help you with all semester long. Occasionally, I get some students who will think that, I'm not going to do nothing all semester long, and then 3/4 of the way the semester, I'm going to start giving work into Mr. Welsh. F. We follow the protocols. We make deadlines throughout the semester, and we do everything the way that they need to be done step by step. I'll help you. This is not high school. One of the things learning about college is the way college works. I had to learn it too. When I ended up first at the community college in LA, the one I went to at the age of 23 years old. All right? Class, very good. Deadlines. Late work is not acceptable and will be penalized 1-letter grade for each day it is due. Your writing is an important part of the text for the class, so the drafts, the final essays, and the writing center verification must be turned in on the day that we're due. We're going to talk more about that later on. So, say an essay is due and you turn it in. I'll tell you how to turn it in. You're going to turn in all work over Blackboard messages. We're not there yet. Oh, and the other thing, class, don't turn in anything unless I ask for it. I have some students say, Mr. Wells, do you want to see my homework? Do you want to see my homework? Do you want to see my homework? No, I don't want to see your homework. I'm glad you did it and you need to do it, but I'm going to only ask you to turn in what I want to see turned in. Okay? Only what I want to see turned in. So, say you have an essay due on a Monday and you turn it in on a Tuesday, it's 1-letter grade off. So an A essay starts off as a B. 2 days, it's a C essay. 3 essays, a D essay. 4 essay days late, it's an F essay. I've used this policy for 20 years. Hold on, class. I think my wife is at the door. I got to let her in. You don't have your key? I'm making a video. That's all right. That's all right. Sorry about that, class. It's my wife coming in from the community college. She's also a professor there too, and a good one. All right. So each day of the week that essay is late, it's 1 grade down. So get your work in on time. I'll grade it, but sometimes students turn in an essay 5 days late. It's already an F. I'll grade it, but you don't want to do that, class. Then it talks on this next page about essay preparation. I'll help you with that, class. All essays, every essay you turn into me is going to look only one way. That's the MLA way, Modern Language Association, that college level essays should look. It's only going to look one way, but I'm going to help you with that. And I'm going to send you the information on exactly how an essay is going to look. The exact typeface, the exact type size. It's all on here. 12-point type, Courier. You can use a Courier or Times Roman or New Times Roman. Proper 1-inch margins that Microsoft Word sets up. You will send those essays to me as a Microsoft Word document attachment. I'll help you with that. I don't want to overload you right now. We're not there. But it says a proportion of your grade for each essay will be based on things like homework, draft, in-class writing. Before an essay's due, I'll tell you exactly what needs to be in a portfolio, class. Exactly what needs to be. Then you break down a grades, class. This could be adjusted a little bit, but basically, or writing from recall essay, which we've already started working on because you have the handouts, 20%. Writing profiles, 20%. Evaluative essay, 20%. Proposing solution essay, 20%. Final exam written in class, 15%. In-class writing, 5%. Class. That may be adjusted a little bit, but that's the basics. And once again, through this calendar, one day at a time we take it. Everything's on here. Okay, so today is the 27th. All right. Introduction, English 1301. The 19th, continue interviews and continue the introductory process. We've done that. Got a little bit off because of the pandemic, class. We're getting caught up. Then look at this, very important, on the 24th, which was 3 days ago, read part 1 that's of the first handout I gave you. I got it right here. Printed this out once again. I'll talk about that. Here it is. This is it. This is a call to write. That's the first handout that I gave you. All right. Talks about the overview of what we're going to be. And you're being called to write. Class, you're being called to write. That's the first handout I gave you. All right. So we have that. Then it says here, readings in bold. From the Norton Field Guide to Writing, your textbook are marked on the syllabus NF. And the readings from the handouts are marked H. The handouts are all the handouts that I give you virtually over Blackboard. They've posted under handouts. Already you have 2 of them. The one that I just showed you and this one, which we're going to talk about today. Where did it go? I got it here. Hold on. Because, class, this is what you're going to do for me on your first essay. Let me turn this off, class. Let me turn this off. I have no idea why there's a phone call coming in. I don't need to talk to them at all. All right. So, this is the other one I sent you. Yeah. Sorry about that, class. I got rid of him. Memoirs, we're calling it a personal experience. Print these out if you can, class. Annotate them. Look over them. We're going to talk about this today. Okay? So that's the second major handout that we have. Now, we're going to have more. So if you go down there, so if you've read that, you're in good shape. Be prepared, it says, to answer the critical inquiry questions at the end of this reading. So one way to stay up is you take care of these readings as they're on the calendar. Sometimes students will come up to me, Mr. Welsh, I'm confused. And I'll say, okay, I'm here to help. I'm not here to hurt anyone. Did you read all my announcements? Did you annotate all my announcements? Did you do all the readings that I've given you? Did you do the homework that I've given you? Okay? If you do all that, you're not going to be confused or as confused. But you got to make sure you've done everything. And then I'll ask students, I say, well, no, Mr. Welsh. I said, go do it. Go do it. Go do the work. Of course, you're confused. You haven't done the work. But then I'll help you. Come on back. Ask questions. I'm a lecturer. I'm going to help you. I'm here to help, not to hurt. Class, that's where we are. Right here. We're going to talk about it today. I'm going to help you. On my calendar, 126. Today's 27th. The Read Memoirs, Recall, and Person Experience. Be prepared to answer the critical inquiring questions at the end of this reading. Class, then for the 28th, and this is once again, this is my hybrid classes. I'll talk about the deadlines for my one online class too. 28, I'm going to post these handouts. I'll post them tonight. Okay, after I post this video for you. Read Throwing Snowballs. Throwing Snowballs is another, once again, reading I'm going to give you. Class is another example of the memoir. Okay, I'm going to post that. And that, once again, goes along with the memoir reading today we had about Gary Soto in the great essay, Black Hair. You're going to write a memoir for me. Are we there yet? No. Am I here to help? Yes. Did Gary Soto write a great memoir? Yes. Yes. This is another one, but you haven't seen this yet. I'm going to post this. Okay. And then it said we got a reading also from your Norton Field Guide. 224 to 232 in your Norton Field Guide. And that talks about, once again, techniques for writing a memoir. Be prepared to answer the questions at the end of these essays. In class, we'll discuss these readings as examples of writing from a recall essay. And I'm going to do that. And then class, just to go to the next day for here, which will be the 31st, as we get into next week. Reading about a writing from recall essay on page 170 to 172. A handout. That's going to be another handout. It's going to be under Blackboard handouts. Respond to several of the invention questions on 171 and 172 and do this for 2 important events in your life. Be sure to write about the significance of each of these events, and in class we'll discuss this selection of topics. Class, you haven't received that yet, but that will be my next lecture that I'm going to once again post. Okay. Let me get this. Here it is. What the hell is this thing not working? All right. So that'll be coming, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. But I'll lecture on this, on the homework. And then we'll be all on the page. And I'll take you step by step, letting you know what you need to do. Okay. So that'll be coming in the next few days. Let me make a note here. Like you, I'm always making notes, class, of where we are, what's happening. That'll be my next lecture after this one. We're already half hour into this one. Then I'll have another handout for you that talks about, by that time after my next lecture, I'll have helped you. You'll be ready to start drafting your memoir. We're not there yet. We're not there. And then once again, shaking down your memory tree. Next lecture, I'm going to talk about memoir writing. I'm going to talk about how to hit it and quit it. I'm going to talk about what you need to do. I'm going to talk about possibilities for you. I'm going to talk about the power of the memoir. All these things that give us illumination in our life. Class, note. Right now, some of these things will be adjusted like this. On page the 3rd, it talks about feedback and revising drafts and all that. You're not going to revise and work your drafts with other students in the class like we used to do because of COVID. We can't do it. Social distancing. So, when you go to turn this essay in, I want to give you your deadline right now. This is for the hybrid class, the 9th. For my hybrid classes, go to your course policies and calendar. Lay that out right now to yourself. We got time. Today's the 27th. You're going to turn this in on February 9th. I'm here to help. But remember that deadline. The 9th for this class, for those 3 classes. Now my online class, section 20755, you're going to turn yours in on the 15th. Because we're on a different schematic and a different sort of situation. So you'll have a few extra days. because I have to do some different things with you because you're the online class, which technically only meets twice a week. The 15th. That's your deadline for turning this in. I'm going to help you with this. That's section 20755. So the 9th and the 15th. For the three classes, section 21416, 21419, 21437, you're going to turn this essay in on the 9th. So we're not there yet, but always consult the calendar. On the 9th, you're going to turn in a rough draft, a final draft, and a writing center verification. So that means you're going to need to go to the writing center virtually or in person and have them take a crack at your essay. Okay? And they can give you a quick turnaround, a couple of days or so. And then you'll send that verification to me. You'll send everything in through Blackboard messages, just simple, one after another. Rough draft, final draft, writing center verification. I'm going to send you a memo about the writing center, where it's located, etc. I'm going to make this note here. Right now. That'll happen by the end of this weekend. I'm going to get that to you. All right? And so you'll send in three things. I'll look at the rough draft, look at the final draft. I'll help you with that. I'll give you an example. Next time I'll lecture about the final draft, what it's supposed to look like. I'll help you with that. Next time I'm going to lecture on memoir writing. This next lecture is going to come up quickly. You're going to have time to write this class. Remember, your essay, 700 to 1,000 words. Double spaced. Okay? I'll help you with that. 700 words to 1,000. And then I'll grade it. Rough draft, final draft, writing center verification. Remember your deadline's the 9th. So start thinking about it. You know, you've already done some reading about this essay. You're going to write a memoir for me. Okay? And next time I'm going to talk about techniques. I'll even talk about them today. What's it going to be? What's it going to comprise of? What could you write a memoir about? Memoir's about you, about your life. Your deadline. Section 21416, 21419, 21437, February 9th is when you're going to turn that in. 20755. It's all on here. The deadline, the 15th of February. Class. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grade those essays, right? Some professors have different techniques for grading. My technique is to hit everything. When I sit down to grade a student's essay, I'm going to mark every error on the page in order to help you. Okay? So you can say, wow, Mr. Wells is a pretty good English professor. He helped me. That's what I'm going to do. So we know about the deadlines. We know about what's going on. We know that you need to contact me through Blackboard messages if you ever do. Once again, class, I'm going to give you a handout about the Writing Center in the next few days. I will have these new handouts that you can read and follow along for homework the next few days. I'm going to post another lecture, I think by Monday. I'll have posted another lecture early next week. Okay? And then with that said, let's talk a little bit about memoir writing. Let's talk a little bit about class right now. This one. Okay. Now this is an essay once again by Gary Soto, Black Hair. He wrote a memoir. That's what you're going to do for me. Do I want you to be Gary Soto? No. I want you to be yourself. Can we learn from Gary Soto? Yes. Years ago, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, he was in town. I went to dinner with him. He's a writer, I'm a writer. He's a poet, I'm a poet. He's an essayist, I'm an essayist. He's a hell of a lot more famous than I am. But, you know, We're both in the game and we went to dinner. And I dig his work. Always have. Gary Soto went to the community college. I went to the community college. You're at the community college. He went to the community college in Northern California. I went to the community college in Southern California. You're going to the community college in El Paso, Texas. In the old days, they used to call them junior colleges. It's fantastic opportunities. It helped Gary Soto. It helped me. It's going to help you too if you want it. Gary Soto, poet, fiction writer, essayist, and the author of many collections for adults and young readers. The following selection, Black Hair, comes from his book Living Up the Street. He is a member of the Royal Chicano Navy Cultural Group in Fresno, California, where he was born and raised. And then class he starts in. Okay. And he writes this memoir called Black Hair. Now, you're going to write a memoir for me. You're going to do the same techniques that Gary Soto does, but there's different ways. But be thinking about now, thinking about loosely, we're not the time. What could I write a memoir on? What happened to me in the past? Something good, something bad, some positive, some maybe not so positive. Can I get in 700,000 words and capture that period of time? I'm going to give you another example. Once again, I posted the next couple days another handout of Annie Dillard's, once again, memoir, Throwing Snowballs. She's Pulitzer Prize winning essayist, a woman, talking about, remember what it was like to be 10 years old in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? Just in a small period of time. That's what you're going to do for me. In the opening lines, it says, for critical inquiry, Gary Soto explains that there are two kinds of work and that he found out about the work that uses muscle when he was a 17-year-old runaway. When you reach the end of the memoir, do you feel he has adequately explained his point? How does Soto's account of his experience develop the point about work which he begins? So he frames it, class. He tells us that he learned a lot from being a runaway. He learned about work. Class, I was never a runaway. Maybe you were never a runaway. Maybe you were. But no matter what, we've all felt it sometimes 17, 18, possibly discontented. And he learned a lot from leaving Northern California and going down to Glendale. Not too far from downtown LA, not too far from Pasadena as a young man and going to work at the Valley Tire Factory. So notice how Gary Soto uses a lot of details. Notice how he uses quotations. Know how he captures the events. Okay. About a 2-week period. Yours, when you go to write yours, it could be a smaller period of time, class. Anyway, he lets us know about work. And then in the end, he talks a lot about what he learned. Okay, and there's some heavy stuff in there, man. He's talking about culture. He's talking about his people. He's talking about people that he feels aren't his people. He's talking about language. You know, he talks about that he wants more for his life, right? More. And he got more. One of the ways was through a college education. All right. And then it says here, the final 6 paragraphs seem to offer Soto's concluding evaluation of his experience. Okay. What conclusion does he come up with at the end? They seem justified based on his account of experiences? I think so. He's comes up with some heavy, heavy things here. Like he doesn't want to die poor. He said he doesn't want to die a poor Mexican death. That's his trip. He can write that once again. He's a Chicano. He's Mexican American. He realizes that there's a lot of defeat in the world. And a lot of people were defeated at the Valley Tire Factory. He doesn't want that. He wants more for his life. Not so much judging them, but it's a tough job, class. He wants more, and he got more. I think it's justified. And then it says, Soto does not tell us why he was a runaway or how his experience working at the Valley Tire Factory ended. Why do you think he has decided not to provide this information? How does it affect the way you read his memoir? I don't think, we really need to know. We get the sense that he's going on. That the Valley Tire Factory was just a part of his life. Not going to be his whole life. He's a young man. And that he was going to strive, we get the sense. And then once again, here we are reading his work in an anthology. That he did go on. And we get the sense that, his life worked out well. After he went to school and he learned a lot and he continued to struggle. Class, like all of us, right? Like you. When I went to the community college, was it a struggle? Yes. Was it hard work? Yes. Did I work my ass off? Yes. Did I pay my own way through college? Yes. Did I have to work jobs on the side to get through college? Yes. All these things Gary Soto had to do, right? Makes us stronger. Once again, helped us. It's great. Great days now looking back at those college experiences. But it took work. Wasn't easy, right? Sometimes students will tell me, oh, Mr. Wells, community college is so easy. I always tell them, all right. Let me see your grades. And when you have put together 60 hours of credits at the community college, let me see your grades. And then we'll determine how easy it is. Because it's not easy. It takes work. It can be done. But it's challenging. You show me 3.5 GPA, and I'll tell you, you aced it. You show me 3.75 GPA, you show me a 3.9 or a 3.8, or even a 3.0, a B average. Saying you got it going on, you'd be like a veteran then, like a veterano in Espanol, a veterana in Espanol. But until we see the grades, it takes work. Consider the title of the memoir, Black Hair. What are the various meanings the title might hold? Class, I want you to think about that. There's different levels. I don't know them all. If we were in class, I'd have you give me all the answers. But this is a online lecture. Black hair. Youth. No gray in the hair like your professor now has. Black hair. Sometimes we'll see that. Class could be dealing with ethnicity, possibly too. Is Hispanic, jet black hair. And also black hair, maybe. One time a student said, Mr. Welsh, could it also be his hair is really black from the dust of the tire factory? Great answer. Yeah, all those things. So class, I want you to be thinking about what you're going to write your memoir about. Next lecture, which is coming up, and I'll post it, I'm going to give you a lot of suggestions. But you can think about, was there a time I had a job? Was there a time in high school where I suffered some pain? Was there a time when I had some joy? Was there a time when my first boyfriend broke up with me? Can you drop us in that place? Was there a time when my girlfriend kicked me to the curb? Was there a time where I felt love? Where's the time I felt the power of Jesus Christ, or a spiritual experience? Was there a time I got in trouble? Be thinking about those details, shaking down your memory now. I'll talk about it more next time, but that's what you're going to write for me. Be thinking about, what could I write? Memoirs are powerful. Class, I didn't bring one of my journals with me. I got hundreds of them in the back room, but I've been working with a memoir. Class, if you're going to write, I'm going to write. I've been writing every day for 35 years, trying to come up. Poetry, fiction, memoir, essays. I just recently published my 13th published book. Doesn't mean I'm special. Just means I'm a writer. Okay? You're going to write. I'm going to write. I've worked a lot in the memoir about the past, trying to make sense. Memoirs are great. They help us heal. We can think about the past. What shapes us? What has made you you? What has made you you? Where are you going? You know, what are you going to do with it? The memoir. What's up with my life? And it helps us heal. It helps us know maybe what we don't want to do in the future. Okay? Or maybe how we want to take a new direction. Community college is great for taking new directions. Is it the only direction? No. Is it for everyone? No. You got to want it. There's a lot here. It revolutionized my life. The memoir. Think about what you might want to write about. And then I'll post those other, excuse me, class, those other documents for you and hit you up with some new announcements. And we'll take this one day at a time. Class. With that said, what I'm going to do is that's enough for today. Remember that I'm going to have new handouts for you. I'm going to have a new lecture for you early next week. I'm going to help you with the memoir. I'm going to talk more about deadlines. We're going to discuss these new things that you're going to be working on. Your first essay is a memoir, 700 to 1,000 words. Be thinking about possibly what you could write. With that said, class, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you and your family, if you have a family, stays well during these challenging times. It's been challenging in my house. I'll leave you as the Irish always leave you. In Ireland, where I've spent time, a lot of time, they'll say good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck. So I'm wishing you good luck until my next lecture. And be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, class, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care.